Beyond theory, beyond politics, this is the front line of family restoration. Real families, real transformation, real proof that God's design works.
And I can say that coming here when I was in college was one of the best decisions that I have ever made in my life.
Amen.
I always wanted to be married. I came from a family where my mom and dad, they were together most of all of my life, but they were never married. Also, my grandparents were married for 50 years, but all of my life they have stayed in two separate houses.
When I was getting ready to propose, and her grandma, she actually called Janetta. She told her I was getting ready to propose, and she told her she did not need to get married. And I could have got mad, I could have got upset, but when you hear about the experience, being separated for over 30 years, even though you were married, you have to understand the hurt, understand the pain, and understand the fear that she was wanting to protect her granddaughter from. That same grandmother today, she loves me, she loves our children, she loves to see us come. Pastor, she watches the live stream all the time, even from her own home, and she's able to help and celebrate the generational curses that were broken. And there's a lot of young men today that grew up without their dads, and they have this desire that they're going to be there for their children. But unfortunately, they not seeing their father in the home, not having good examples. They want to be there for their children, but they don't necessarily know how. That's something that I experienced. One of my key moments, I was raised without my father, never met him a day in my life. My first time ever talking to him, it was about a 2-minute conversation, and I can't remember what we talked about. I was maybe about 5 years old, but I remember getting off the phone just so upset, crying, so much anger, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna be better than him. I'm gonna be there for my children. But just like him, growing up, not knowing how to be a father, when I came here to the promised land, I found an example, I found a pastor, I found a father, and I found healing. I found peace and unity, even from my own father, letting go of that anger and now having somewhat of a relationship with him, but letting him be free that I can be there for my children. I can remember one key moment right there on the altar, a word spoken, and this is why it's so important to not just be in church, but have a spiritual leader, have a pastor that God has given you after his own heart. A word spoken by Apostle Quick. He laid hands on me and I was falling to the floor. He said, that's somebody's husband. That's somebody's father. Words I have never heard before in my life, but I grabbed hold to them. And when I stepped into my marriage, yes, it was rocky. Yes, there were some times where, the devil tried to tell you, maybe you married the wrong ones. But I went back to that word spoken by Apostle Quick, and it was an anchor and a foundation that we were able to build our lives upon.